warm welcome to the February episode of the UxbridgeFM podcast. Coming up, we're chatting to a couple of societies in the area, both looking for new members now they're reopened post-lockdown. Can you sing or act? There's news from Uxbridge Bid on what's coming up for spring and summer, and a couple of reports from the library. First off then, have you done your vocal warm-ups? Ariane Charlebois joins me now, and you're from Uxbridge Choral Society.
That's true.
First of all, tell us a bit about the history of Uxbridge Choral Society.
Uxbridge Choral Society grew out as a choir created in 1939. It was a couple of churches around Uxbridge that wanted to have a carol concert. What they did to raise funds for the Uxbridge branch of the British Red Cross. Approximately 60 to 70 people kind of got together, and they were conducted by Harold Stoddart, the organist at St. Margaret's, Uxbridge, in 1939-1940. And that's when they started a choir at that point. And people liked it so much after that fundraising that they continued with the Uxbridge Choral Society. They did their first official concert in 1940, and then since then they've had 11 more conductors, and the one that we have right now is Tim Armstrong Taylor, who is now our conductor.
So 1939, it's a lot of clubs and societies began around that time, it seems. I don't know why that would be, but we find a lot of the Amdram clubs and the societies started around that kind of time.
It could be because the 1930s was a time where it was kind of the Depression and people didn't have a lot of money. And I think a lot of these societies started for a charity reason and then liked it so much they continued.
So now, how many members do you have and how did it go during lockdown?
So we're about 45 to 50 members who are showing up to every rehearsal right now. During lockdown, we did a lot of it on Zoom, and obviously not everybody is, technologically kind of confident. So we used to have about 30 people on Zoom on a regular basis. Yeah. We did, a lot of rehearsals, and then we tried kind of recordings. And so everything we've done on Zoom is going to be in the summer concert this year in 2022.
Oh, great. And you rehearse at St. Margaret's Church in Uxbridge?
We do. We rehearse between 7:45 and 9:30 every Wednesday, which means that we have a small break in the middle where we kind of catch up with notices and have a bit of a chat and a bit of a social. And usually some choristers go to the Queen's at the end and have a bit of a drink afterwards.
Yes, that sounds the best bit.
It is.
And what's coming up? We've got a concert coming up, which is very exciting.
So we've got two concerts this year. We've had to obviously cancel our Christmas concert because it was too close with Omicron and problems with COVID. So the next concert that we have, which we're really excited about, is the 12th of March at St. Margaret's Church. We are singing parts of the Handel's Messiah choruses, and we are singing also the Mozart Requiem, which is really lovely. We've even had a grand piano delivered for the concert, so we're really excited about that.
And will people know some of the pieces in that?
Well, obviously it's the Hallelujah. That's the famous key one
chorus
in the Handel. The Mozart, I think there's one part of the Mozart that's been used in about 6 different movies, including Amadeus in the Requiem. So it is something that people will pick out and know about it.
Now you're after more people joining, so how can we go about that?
So we are looking for people joining, and obviously due to COVID, there's some people who are not feeling confident coming back, into singing, and some people have moved away. And sadly, we've lost a couple of our members. So we are looking at members joining us. We have an open day on the 16th of March, which is a Wednesday, which is the first rehearsal for a summer concert. And our summer's concert is the 2nd of July, which will be opera choruses and a lot of different kind of variant of music we've done also on Zoom, which are really easy to pick up. You don't need to be a professional singer. We are an amateur choir, which means you do not have an audition. You can come up, enjoy it.
And reading music, does that help? Or
it does help, but you don't have to. I would like to say more than half our choir do not read music. They kind of learn by hearing it as a repetition. We do also provide kind of websites and things like that for people to rehearse outside of rehearsals. But Tim, our choir director is really, really good at slowing things down and making us understand what it is and repeating until we get it.
Is there a charge for joining?
The membership for a year is £120. It will probably go up £160 from September next year. So if they want to join, they only have to pay about half of the fees for this year for doing the summer concert, but we can arrange something for that. The whole point of the membership is it pays for the pianists, pays for the venues, and it pays for our choir director. It is a charity, so we don't make a profit out of it. Everything goes back into our venues and concerts.
And are there any sort of plans to do concerts other than the St Margaret's Church in the borough?
Well, we usually do 4 concerts a year before COVID, and we usually would use Botwell Lane in Hayes. We've used St Andrews. So there is a mixture. It depends of what we're singing, and it depends of how big an orchestra we need, or if we just need a grand piano or a smaller kind of Baroque style. Next year, we're planning 4 concerts.
And what's the sort of general age?
It is an older choir, I'd like to say, but they are such lovely people. Myself, I am in my 40s, so early 40s, and I'm one of the youngest in the choir. I joined 6 years ago and became chair 2 years ago. And we are looking at, kind of a mixture of age. It doesn't matter what age you are, as long as you love singing and as long as you like, coming in and doing your best in the time that you are there.
Yeah. And you were saying music's in your DNA. Your dad was a opera singer.
Yes, my dad was an opera singer. I grew up with music. I went to an alternative Canadian music school, which is called FACE, Fines Art Core Education. So it was a through school between primary and secondary. And we did choristers. So we were a choir from year 1 to year 11, and we did instruments also, and we composed music and we analyzed music. So I grew up with that.
Yeah.
I didn't go into music. I am a geography, history, and French teacher, but obviously that's, I've always loved music and I've always been part of choirs outside school.
And is there a website where we can find more information?
Yes, so just Google Uxbridge Choral Society. It's Uchco Society. And then we have a Facebook, and we have an Instagram, and we have a Twitter also.
Gosh, you're heavy on social media.
We are trying as much as possible, yes.
Well, good luck finding new members to join the choir. And there's obviously research that says that singing is good for various sort of health, isn't it? Mental health in particular.
I think throughout the COVID time and the lockdowns, knowing that every Wednesday you would sing with people that you're used to, even if it was on Zoom, kind of helped a lot of people mentally. We did also social times on Zoom every couple of weeks where we would just open it and people would have a chat, even not being able to meet up. So I think singing for me has always been an outing for, kind of feelings and being able to share something within the community. And when you sing, you kind of get this, natural high of being in an environment where the music, you forget everything else that's happening in life and you just sing. And I think a lot of people find that. Tim, our choir director, makes it really easy. He's a very funny man, and he is very particular about his music.
Do you think singing taps into sort of some of our primal instincts? Imagine sort of cavemen around a campfire singing songs. We sort of lose a bit of that in our modern life, don't we, I think?
I'm not sure about the cavemen singing songs, but I would say, music has always been a way for communities to get together. And even medieval times where, stories would be not written or people didn't know how to read, but they would be able to listen to troubadours and know about what's happening around the world and their community. Singing has been something pagan, has been something religious, and I think it just brings communities together.
Great stuff. Wow. So, concert coming up on the 12th of March, tickets £15 on the door or on the website, and just Google Uxbridge Choral Society if you want to get in touch with them and potentially sing. That sounds great. Thanks, Ariane.
Thank you very much for having me.
No worries.
Now, fresh from their Christmas activities, the Uxbridge Business Improvement District have lots more coming up this year.
So welcome back to Kira Gibson from the Uxbridge Business Improvement District. Hi, Kira. Welcome back.
Hi, Steve. Thank you for having me.
You popped in to tell us what's coming up in spring and a bit of summer maybe across Uxbridge.
Yes. Well, currently we have our lovely Love Heart display in front of the floral foam boxes next to the train station for people to take photos in, and that's been very popular, I must say. And that was very kindly made by the flower store. So that's been a nice little fun part of Valentine's Day to have. We've got Mother's Day coming up as well, where we are supporting some of our levy-paying hairdressers. So we're going to be running a competition. I think it's about 10 salons for people to win 2 lots of £50 vouchers for each salon. One will be going out to the general public on our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, on our social channels. And the other one will be going out to our corporate offices, because hopefully they're coming back in to encourage them to come into Uxbridge and see what our amazing town has to offer. So that competition will be launching mid-March.
That's like 3 haircuts for me. I guess it's aimed at people having their hair done properly.
The full works, the cut, the dye, to pamper mum. We're hoping to do window art as well. So we've got an incredible artist from London who knows the Uxbridge area well, and she's going to be coming in doing around 20 businesses. I was only confirmed in this morning, so you've got the scoop on this. I haven't even spoken to the businesses yet. She'll be doing beautiful art on the windows that incorporates spring, summer, flowers, just lots of happy, bright positivity, and then also elements of the business, which leads us nicely into the Queen's Jubilee.
Yes.
I'm in the process of finding all the bunting. It'll be Friday the 3rd, Saturday the 4th, and Sunday the 5th of June. So it's the bank holidays. And we're going to be having, the Friday, we're going to have a 1950s car show. And we've got 1950s pop-up vintage fairground games. So like Hook a Duck, Follow the Wire, Coconut Shire, that sort of stuff. Just really gorgeous. And they'll be in for the 3 days. We're going to be bringing in cool stuff, like we're going to have a Queen selfie chair with corgis. We're going to be giving away free cupcakes. We're going to have 1950s swing dancers coming in. And every day we're going to have live music, lots of bands, just amazing swing music for 1950s, really encouraging everybody to dress up. It's just going to look amazing. We're going to have such a nice feel in the town. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be really incredible.
Yeah. And then later, Pirates are coming.
Pirate Fest, literally a month later, Pirate Fest kicks off. So from the 20th of July to the 31st of July, we are going to be invaded by pirates in Uxbridge Town Centre. We have a 25-foot pirate ship coming in.
Okay.
We have games, pop-up food trucks, stalls, activities, live music, sea shanty band coming in all the way from Cornwall. Just incredible. We're going to have pirates and mermaids aplenty. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely amazing. I'd love it if people dressed up. It would be incredible.
Yeah.
A lot of the businesses are excited and very happy to dress up. That will be great fun, and I'm sure I can, wrangle out a pirate costume for myself and the team and our security ambassadors.
No swords, though.
No swords.
Or cutlasses.
I've got inflatable swords because I'm hoping to bring in a giant beach as well to go next to the pirate ship.
Of course.
Because what's a pirate fest without a beach?
Real sand or?
Oh, real sand, of course, real sand. You know us. It's going to be real sand.
I love it.
One of my more madder ideas. No, it's going to be fantastic. So I've got lots of inflatable palm trees and swords that the kids can, chase each other around with, which would be great fun.
Oh, yeah, that would cause chaos. That's great. Lots coming up then in Uxbridge.
Yes.
And then can we chat about your renewal?
Yeah, so we go to ballot.
Okay.
So ballot opens on the 10th of June, which is a Friday.
And who gets to vote? Levy payers?
Levy paying businesses, yes.
Yeah.
So if you have a rateable value of over £15,000 in Uxbridge Town Centre from Marjack's roundabout to Sainsbury's to St Andrew's roundabout to the Crown and Treaty, then you pay into a levy.
Yeah.
And obviously all that levy goes in and that's funds on our side policing and security. So that's a full-time Metropolitan Police officer, 2 security ambassadors. We've got a lovely team. Obviously PC Rice, our bid-funded police officer, who's working a lot at the moment on women's safety campaigns. She's doing free self-defence classes in partnership with Simply Gym. So yeah, and obviously all of the events and all that we put into. So
if you're a levy-paying business, why wouldn't you vote again for the bid to come back?
This is it. This is the hope and the aim, and we know what we do matters and helps the town and, supports the town and supports the businesses. And we do look at, sort of the bigger picture that, if we can increase footfall overall and support, the town as a whole, that if you have a clean, safe, green town centre with lots happening, people are going to want to come to it.
Definitely a destination place, especially in the evenings where you might have a choice of 2 or 3, Watford, maybe Harrow, but no, you choose Uxbridge because of these things.
Exactly. We've got great restaurants and pubs and a cinema and lots more still coming and opening. We've got, I think, 3 new eateries opening. We've got a lovely wine bar on the corner that's coming.
Great.
Hopefully within the next few weeks. In the Randalls development, there's mutterings that there's some cool things going on.
Mutterings. Well, thanks, Kira. So Mother's Day, Queen's Jubilee, pirate ships and window arts all coming up, things to look forward to in Uxbridge. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We can't wait to see you all there.
Yeah.
And the website for the Uxbridge bid is, of course, loveuxbridge.co.uk. We've got more music news next.
Paul Davidson has kindly come over from the Uxbridge Library to tell us about an upcoming exhibition at the library. It's called Sounds of the Suburbs. What's this all about, Paul?
Okay, Steve. The exhibition is about the history of music throughout Hillingdon over the last 500 or 600 years. It takes in 5 centuries of music making and music producing, from William Byrd, who was the father of English music in the 16th century. We have Stephen Storris, who was a friend of Mozart's, who wrote several Gothic operas, including The Haunted Tower, which went on at Drury Lane for 50 days in a row. It was a real showstopper. We tell the story of some of the local brass bands earlier last century, the rise of popular music, including the Hollywood star Jessie Matthews, who some of our audience may have heard of. She was known as the dancing divinity. We cover rock and pop all the way from the sweet Ronnie Wood, people who remember from the Stones, Tube Army to Scouting for Girls on the present day. We look at traditional music. We've got an interesting excerpt on May Day chimney sweeps processions in 1850s Uxbridge. We look at the record industry, anything from EMI down to local vinyl stores. And we've had some very kind donation from some of the local vinyl stores as well. One of the panels looks at live music, anything from Brunel gigs from the 1960s onwards, which include bands from Tears for Fears, early Genesis, even the Sex Pistols. There's a whole range of bands. We look at how Hillingdon Borough has made music accessible, all the way from the Music Hub, which is a means of access to music for schools and young musicians, to libraries using performance and also open mic sessions. Finally, we have what we call in the Hillingdon Music Map, where local residents have given us their experiences of music locally, anything from festivals, local record shops, even their own bands.
Venue-wise, I always think Uxbridge and the area is a bit limited in terms of music, but maybe it wasn't in the past. Maybe there are some more venues. I mean, we know Burton's nightclub, which was it's now gone, isn't it? It was above Burton's.
That's right.
Men's Tailors. And that had some quite iconic bands in the 60s, I understand. And then there was Regals, obviously. Mm-hmm. Then now we have a folk club and the Tropic at Ruislip. But I think we could do some more live music venues in the area.
I think I've been to the General Elliot, and that does live music.
Yes.
I think Whelan's in Uxbridge has done some as well.
Yeah.
But also there was 1965 to 66, there's the Uxbridge Blues Festival, which a lot of people remember, and there were some quite famous bands playing there.
Ronnie Wood, for example, he was local, was he?
I think from West Drayton, Useley way.
Yeah.
I think he came from the canal community.
And Scouting for Girls, we know Ruislip way, aren't they?
Yeah, Queensmead School, they're all friends.
Yeah. And obviously the massive record pressing plant at Hayes, the EMI.
Yes.
Yeah. And now being redeveloped into Global Academy and all around there.
In fact, we've got a record pressing plate as part of the exhibition.
Will it play, do you think? Or
I don't think so. I couldn't see any grooves on it anyway.
Any plans to have any music play in the library? It's a bit tricky, I suppose, isn't it? I mean...
No, but we have been talking to a local musician about the possibility of coming in and doing a talk interspersed with some music, but that's very much in the pipeline at the moment.
Okay.
And I will be giving a talk myself to delve deeper into what we cover in the exhibition.
Do you play any instruments yourself?
I know a few chords on the guitar, and that's about it. I don't know how to put them together.
So what's the date of the exhibition?
Right, it's in the atrium in Uxbridge Library from the 18th of February to the 25th of March.
18th of Feb, 25th of March,
That's right.
Uxbridge Library. Pop in and check out the history of music in the area. That sounds amazing.
And from music to acting. Have you got a secret desire to perform on stage?
In the studio, we have Jan and Tony Skur, and you are here to chat about the Harefield Amateur Dramatic Society. Hello.
Hello to you.
Now, what is the HADS, or the Harefield Amdram Society, all about?
Shall I start back in 1951?
Back in the history, yeah.
1951. Well, that was 71 years ago. We did intend having a 70th birthday last year, but unfortunately that wasn't meant to be. There was a couple of guys called Francis James and Leslie Baxter way back in that time who decided that Harefield really lacked some kind of entertainment and the villagers needed entertaining, basically. So they started in a small back room in somebody's house, and from there, as they say, from small acorns, huge oak trees grew.
And you've done 176 productions since.
Yeah, 176 full productions, 30 what we call anthologies, which are like summer events, and 20 miscellaneous performances under our belt. We've done dramas, comedies, musicals, mysteries, magic. The only thing we don't do, I'm saying musicals, but we don't really do musicals with people singing, because up till now our singing performers, let's say, have had a little bit lacking, and none of us have had enough confidence to do it.
You're based at St Mary's Church Hall in Harefield.
Yeah, we are.
There's a stage and things there, are there?
Yeah, it's brilliant actually, Steve, because where we have been working have not had the same facilities, but the church hall has got a stage, fabulous curtains, green room, as the professionals like to call it, several changing rooms, lighting.
Since lockdown, I suppose, as with all societies, you've suffered a drop in membership, but you want to put the word out across Hillingdon for actors, actresses, but also behind the scenes people. So it's not just actors and actresses, is it?
No, we've lost several of our members. I think we're down to about 14 actually acting people. So we're looking for somebody to help out with sound and with lighting. We've got a very competent wardrobe mistress. That's a terrible word, isn't it, mistress? But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So anybody who's got any kind of interest in amateur dramatics is welcome, whether they're going to be on the front or whether they're going to be behind stage.
And yeah, even things like painting scenery and those sorts of things as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you've got a big new scenery store and a store place at the hospital now.
We have.
Is a new addition.
Yeah. We've been working out of an old school hut in Harefield Hospital grounds. It's been absolutely wonderful up to the last few years when we've had a lot of wildlife finding new homes there. It was becoming more and more unsuitable. So we looked around, but there wasn't anywhere big enough for us to keep our props. We were fortunate enough to be allocated some property there, and we moved into this new place 4 years ago. That wasn't without its trials, but it's been sorted and the place is fabulous.
Oh, that's great. So I do hear that there was a performance in around about 2013, the Calendar Girls, when there was maybe some clothes being removed.
Oh, there was nudity. Let's get that right out. We did take all our clothes off. There was none of this pretending not to. It was another really good challenge, and it was put on in November. So our rehearsals started to take place in August, September, and the heating went off in the church hall, and so we spent rather a lot of time with all our clothes on. We didn't actually take our clothes off until the performance. The dress rehearsal, or the undress rehearsal.
Undress rehearsal, yes.
It was very, very cold. We were sold out on every single performance.
I'm sure, yes.
Can't think why.
All blokes, probably, in the audience.
Get away.
with Dirty Max.
Our backstage manager, Paul Martin, he was the only one that was actually allowed to be backstage while we were changing. And he said he spent most of the performance facing the wall.
Right. Okay. In horror.
Poor lad.
Yes.
I don't think it was in horror. I think it was sheer embarrassment.
Anybody wants to get in touch, there's a website, harefieldamdram.org. Lots of information on there about previous performances. And you've got something coming up, haven't you, in April?
We have. April the 23rd, we're doing a murder mystery performance. It's Blue Murder at Bluestone Hall. And it's a one-night only performance to ease us back into the community and also to give everybody a chance to see that we are back in business. It's going to take the usual murder mystery format with the audience expected to take part eventually.
Oh, right.
And the tickets are going to be round about £10 each. That will include a buffet, but obviously bring your own whatever it is you like to drink.
Yeah.
We are going to have more table seating, which gives a much better atmosphere, to be quite honest.
So contact details, if anybody wants to get involved, there's an email address, isn't there?
Yes, there is. It's mine.
Your email.
It's janscurr@hotmail.com.
Yeah. So JANSCURR@hotmail.com.
That's correct. If anybody wants to join our society, we meet every Tuesday evening, about 8 o'clock. We meet at St Mary's Hall, which is in the High Street in Harefield.
And I gather you've got some awards for your performances as well, going back from like 2005.
Yeah, we joined NODA, which is the National Operatic and Dramatic Association, and they issue awards for different performances for all the societies all over England. 2014, we did Out of Order, which was a political comedy in which Tony played the part of an extremely dead body hanging off the back of the door.
Ah, so no lines, Tony?
None at all. I don't do lines.
He was very good at that. He remembered every single word.
So you were fixed to a door.
The door opened and I had to fall off the door with a knife in my back and make sure I landed on my front so that everybody could see the knife.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure the award was for the performance by the dead body.
Oh, more than likely.
One would hope so.
Yeah.
One of our most emotional productions was Journey's End, which is the story of a group of soldiers in World War One. It was an all-male cast, and it was set in a bunker just before the soldiers went over the top. We did 4 performances of that show, and we had people who'd not been on stage before and not done this kind of thing before, and it really was a challenge. It was quite a wordy play, and at the end, the soldiers came on not to take a curtain call, but they just stood there, saluted, and one of the local lads played the last post. You could have heard a pin drop there, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house afterwards. In fact, just watching all of that made everybody really, really tear up.
Wow, very emotional.
Yeah, that was one of our good performances. Actually, although we're doing this murder mystery in April, we thought, as we'd never ever done a panto, we would like to have a crack at that. So we're planning on doing one in November, and we know it's a bit early, so if you want to express your inner drama queen, come and let us know. We can get you lined up for a part. So we're going to be looking for singers, dancers, preferably people who aren't in the same age bracket as us.
Okay.
Most of us are seniors.
Well, thanks, Jan. Thanks for popping in and telling us all about HADS, the Harefield Amateur Dramatic Society. And again, anybody wants to get in touch, there's the website, which is harefieldamdram.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
And finally this month, February is Heart Month, and Hillingdon Libraries have a number of events around that.
So I'm joined by Zoe Iggledon, who's the library manager at Uxbridge. Hi, Zoe.
Hi, Steve.
Now, you've popped in to tell us all about Heart Month, which is happening in February in libraries across the borough. It's very exciting.
What's the sort of highlights of Heart Month then?
So in all 17 libraries, you'll find there is a full programme of events happening. We have over 55 individual events happening across the borough. We'd like you to improve your well-being, find some me time. It's about fitness, trying out a new hobby. It's almost loving yourself, I would say. And we have something for everyone. So we're looking to 0 years to 99 years, and you will find something in the programme you can take your child along, your grandparents along, or yourself along and enjoy.
It's great that libraries are expanding their sort of remit, isn't it? You don't just go to a library now to borrow a book or do some photocopying. There's a lot more, isn't there, in libraries, which is great nowadays, I think.
There's an awful lot going in libraries, and we'd so much like people to come along and maybe discover Heart Month, some of our fabulous events that are going on, and some of the other things we do.
And at the moment, are libraries fully open again, or are there still some restrictions?
We're not open quite perhaps full hours, but we are open 7 days a week at Uxbridge. A lot of people don't realise we're open on Sundays as well. No, just from 11 till 2, but we are there. And of course, we are all open on Saturdays, and we're open every day.
So in terms of categories of things that are happening...
For families and for our older people, if I look at maybe the creative writers amongst us, on the 25th, for 12 to 14 years at Botwell Green, we have Wreck This Journal. Through a series of creatively and quirkily illustrated prompts, acclaimed artist Kerry Smith encourages young people to engage in destructive acts, poking holes through pages, adding photos and defacing them, painting them with coffee, colouring outside the lines and more, just to inspire and experience a true creative process.
Not in the library books themselves, hopefully.
No, absolutely. That's making their own journal.
Poking holes.
Yeah, don't encourage that with our own. And of course, for the adults, on Saturday the 19th of February, 11:30 to 12:30 at Uxbridge Library. If you're an avid writer, or a lot of people picked up writing during lockdown, they might have been writing poems or short stories or trying out their talents. We have a creative session on mindfulness, a great chance to share your ideas with other writers at Uxbridge Library. Again, this session is bookable, as they all are. More details at the end of our talk.
Future J.K. Rowlings there, maybe.
Absolutely. And we do have something which is strictly for men only.
Oh.
Well, we've noticed a lot of our library events are attended by ladies, and that's very nice. But we thought, where are all the men? So we're going to bring in a group for men aged over 50 to come along to the launch of their new men's social group.
Oh.
So this friendly group is going to take place every Friday starting on the 4th of February from 11 to 12:30 p.m. Bookable again via Ruislip Manor Library. All details on our website, of course. So that's something a little different, and we're going to try it out and see if we can tempt you gentlemen to come and join us, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Is there a beer provided, or...
Well, I don't think so. Maybe afterwards.
Yes.
You never know.
That's in Ruislip Manor.
That's over at Ruislip Manor. Something I can't let go slip here is our great Mindful Stitch-A-Thon. This is for all those out there that knit or crochet. We want to harness the mindful power of knitting and crochet and create the biggest blanket Hillingdon has ever seen. So if you want to take time out to de-stress, knit or crochet a granny square for us, or more if you like, we're asking for squares in any colour that are 15 centimetres by 15 centimetres. Use any DK yarn you like, and we suggest using 5mm sized crochet hooks or knitting needles. Drop off your mindful masterwork at your nearest library by Monday the 28th of February so it can be included in our blanket. And we'd love to see a note about why you find stitching so relaxing and de-stressing. And we can display your thoughts alongside the blanket in Uxbridge Library. And following our wonderful display of this enormous, humongous blanket, we're going to break it up, and it will make a lot of smaller blankets which are being donated to the Mayor's charity to be put to good use, of course.
I wonder, is there a record the Guinness World Record. Maybe you could probably go in for that.
We wondered that. We'll certainly look into it, and we'd absolutely love to beat that record if there is one, or create one.
Yeah.
If there is not one already.
That's Heart Month. All the libraries in the borough of Hillingdon taking part. And anything else you wanted to add? Any more events?
I'd just like everyone to look at our website.
Yes.
There's so much going on. Do have a look at www.hillingdon.gov.uk/library-events. This will take you to the full list of events, full details, booking details, and there is so much more going on. There's Lego Mania at South Ruislip Library for the youngsters and the families. There is Love the Read, Share the Read at Hayes End Library for children, creating a paper heart and flower display with book recommendations. A Heart Month family quiz at South Ruislip. Stained glass window craft. Yoga. There is mindfulness. There are coffee mornings.
Great stuff. So, apart from Heart Month, obviously libraries have many, many things going on in them. I mean, take Uxbridge Library as an example. I go in there and get my recycling bags, for example. Give us a few other ideas that we can do from the libraries.
Well, we have a cafe, but we do have groups. Our groups are back, you'll be glad to know. Today, for instance, is our Bump and Beyond. So that's for all expectant parents, all for those expectant mums out there who are just at home, or they've got newborns up to about 3 months. And after that, of course, they go to our Tiny Tales. But it's a lovely time to meet other mums. The babies meet one another. We have stories. We have rhyme time. It's a lovely session. It's greatly loved by the mums and the babies. That's on a Monday at 11:30. On Wednesday, we have chair-obics, 2 sessions of chair-obics, very popular. We have Tiny Tales on Thursday, 2 sessions for the under-5s. And we have a session on Friday afternoons too for the under-5s for the Tiny Tales. So that's tales, songs and rhymes. And a new session coming up, Ancestry. Have you ever wanted to look into your past, find out who your great-great-grandfather was, go back through those census records, the parish records, find out how to do it?
You might find that your great-great-great-granddad is King someone, or,
You never know.
Whatever,
and the person leading it has certainly done his family history and taken us right back in time, and it was absolutely fascinating. I don't think he had anyone quite famous, but it was still very interesting.
Yeah.
And you can see stories coming from people's past where people have perhaps got married a little bit after the baby was born, and how they met, maybe at work, via this sort of work they did in those days, like the laundry house, I think, was one of them we spotted. And you could almost see a Downton Abbey type story coming out of it. Oh, if only we could write, Great fun.
Well, thank you very much, Zoe, for popping in and telling us a bit about Heart Month that's coming up across February, and also the libraries in general. Lots and lots going on. As you say, check it out on the website, which is
www.hillingdon.gov.uk/libraries. Please do have a look at the wonderful things you can access from home these days.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank
Lovely
you.
to talk to you. Thank you.
And that's all for this month. Check out the list of local events on the Uxbridge FM website, uxbridgefm.co.uk. Join us on social media, just search Uxbridge FM. And if you're lucky, your smart speaker should play the podcast. Just ask for the Uxbridge FM podcast. Thanks to Chris Allen for helping out, and Luca Nieri for the music. I'll catch you next month.